Hi, beautiful Super Soul Sisters. Today we're going to talk about trust shoes. Whew, these are a big pair of shoes to actually adopt and to keep on. So, I can even tell you right now, I am going through this myself, doing this channel, doing this group, trusting that things will just work out the way they're supposed to and in the timely fashion that they're supposed to roll out in. Can be really tough, I can tell you personally. Like I say, I'm doing it myself, but it is not uncommon. So as I mentioned in the previous video with the vacuum shoes, yes, you have, whether it's driven by your own initiative to change your situation, or whether it is driven from economic changes or environmental upset, or a driver that has come from, whatever is happening in your world, that causes you to be in a state of upset and upsets your apple cart, and suddenly you thought you were going in this direction and you're now suddenly going in this direction. So it might be something that was the change, the disruption has happened not of your own volition, and sometimes it is your own volition. It's choices you've made, and whether they were good choices or not great choices, it doesn't matter. It's happened now, right? And you can't take it back. So and I always go if we can get clear on what is working for us, if we are aware enough to go, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't. So this is where I'm talking about it here. Either way, whether something has happened to us or not, if we're thrown onto a path that maybe is a little bit too soon for us, because the universe has decided it's time for you to shift over onto this path, whether you like it or not. Like I've kind of had that as well recently, with this whole channel thing, like the whole idea that I had. I'll give you a straight up example. I had a very well paying client in my other business, and it didn't work out for many reasons. I had my Lipton shoes on and I had to make some decisions, and I did a bit of a feng shui. So it was my choice, but of course, given my husband's scenario, which was another disruptor with him having been unwell, made it that my decision to be on this path a lot sooner than what I expected, in the capacity that I was wanting to be at just at this moment. So I had visions of doing a kind of a foot in both, and moonlighting, which is a common strategy in business, where you keep stable with one and then you step into your new path, going your new way, that eventually, once that's holding its own water and pulling in what it needs to, you can easily then drop away on the other path, or just have it where that's the thing that you're tinkering in, rather than having it as the mainstay. But of course, what happened is not that, and so I landed up. Now I am thrown in, as of 2 weeks ago, into full-time, and it was a lot of meditating with the universe, going, is this the best decision? And it's like, it was just too toxic. I just couldn't keep on doing it. It wasn't in sync with my values. There were too many shoes that didn't fit. There were too many shoes that that I was being expected to wear, that I was being asked, almost forced to wear sometimes, and I was just saying, I'm not putting those shoes on, I'm not wearing those shoes those way. That's not how I roll. This is not how, it doesn't sync with me as a person. I'm not doing that. And so as a result, it came to a point where I was like, this just is not going to work out. So I was suddenly forced, by virtue of my husband's situation and the scenario with this particular client, that it wasn't going to be possible moving forward. So I'm now thrown in 95%, or say 80% of my time now doing this, which I love and adore, but of course, we've got to make it fly. And it's not just, I love helping people, but obviously I also have to help my own family too. So honestly, if you can help me by just sharing videos or just inviting somebody to the Facebook group and just giving people the awareness about this, that keeps me going. That makes me understand that actually my time is worth doing this, and that it's worth continuing that journey. So it gives me the hope that I need to keep me stable, to be able to take the next step, to do more, to be able to offer you more, to be able to change more lives. So it's, it doesn't really matter what the situation is. It's whether, I guess the pandemic, is a classic example of this, isn't it? I mean, it's like so many people had jobs and then suddenly they didn't, I mean, like, gosh, we had so many of those. And, it's just like their whole worlds were completely set upside down. I mean, I had people where both the partners lost their jobs because we're in hospitality. We're in Queenstown. We are a hospitality town. We don't really have farming. We don't have all the anything else here other than we don't have manufacturing. We've got nothing else. So half the town took a massive hit. So if you were both partners were in hospitality, then the disruptor was, you're no longer on this path, boom, you're on this one. Okay, so you've got to start looking for the silver linings. You've got to go, right, what's the benefit of this? And so it goes on, right? So but you don't have to have a pandemic for that to happen. Like it could be a relationship. I've had people where they went, oh my gosh, I just got told, I remember years ago, a lady was saying to me that her husband went on some conference up in Auckland. It was a 10-day conference, and by the end of the 10 days he came back and he announced that he was leaving her and that he was actually engaged to this other lady. Shell shock or what, right? Oh my OMG, right? Okay, not an ideal scenario, really disrupted her world. And it's like, well, how do we get out of those shoes and then into a pair of shoes where you are now going to be self-sufficient, etc., etc. So sometimes you have to take that leap of faith, whether you like it or not. Okay, the universe just throws you into this path, and it's just like you're going to sink or swim, baby. So my half of the reason of me doing this is because of how people were struggling through the pandemic. It was an awareness level of just how many people don't have the amount of emotional coping skills that we really do need just to get through life. And I'm just like, these are simple little things that I've learned over the years that anybody can learn. We are animals and we get conditioned and we can adopt these things, but half of it is an awareness. Half of them didn't even know, like, why would you bother learning? Because my life is peachy. Well, boom, along comes a pandemic. Not so peachy anymore, is it? How are you going to cope? Now, if you had all of these coping strategies in place, if you had all these shoes in place, if you knew how you operated and what you needed, and you had my emotional, resilience toolkit in your handbag, you can whip out those suckers left, right, and center, and that ride would be far smoother for you than those guys going up and down like this, like it's a tidal wave, and it's like, I have no idea what's coming, and you get hit by another wave and you get hit by another wave and you get, and now it's you're unwell as well, and you have all of these and scenarios. And look, as ladies, I'm speaking to you as ladies. I'm a mum. And I can tell you, I know what it's like. You're an incredible amount of overwhelm. So much more is expected of you than you ever had before. We have fractured Western, culture, dare I say, where the support structure has fallen away because we are so busy just trying to survive that, trying to keep yourself on an even keel and even just your family is actually even a big ask, let alone to stretch it out into the community, and like I was saying to you before, all my relatives in my family are in Africa and Australia. I've got my husband's family this side, thank goodness, but some people don't even have the benefit of that. But the closest one I have is like 4 hours drive from me. So when you put all of those components together, sometimes we get thrown into the vacuum shoes, whether we like it or not. We have a disruptor like the pandemic, or ill health, or a sudden death, or a sudden departure, or some some form of abandonment, or suddenly one of our kids or a family member suddenly is turned into an addict, or whatever it is, you know, or if somebody's attempted suicide, you name it, you fill in the gap, you know. And we're now in the scenario of like, how are we going to deal with that? And in AA, you know, like I mentioned in the previous thing, I think they have the saying that says, you know, you've got to let go and let God. You kind of just have to trust that things are going to work out for you. So a fantastic analogy, and I can't even remember where I heard this from, but it's Esther Hicks maybe talks about this. I'm digging in the cobwebs here, ladies, but basically where you know, take the analogy of driving a car, okay, at night, and when you're driving, you've got your headlights on and you only see a certain distance in front of you, but you trust, you know, you're on the road, you see the sign and you go, I want to go that way, right? Okay, so that's what all that thing is, that, you know, all my shoes that I've been talking about up to now. It's like getting clear about, okay, which highway do you want to go? Which town do you want to even go to? Like, are you on the right path to begin with? Like, if you're driving and there's no sign and you just take a thing and you go, well, I hope I land up in, I don't know, Auckland or, you know, Sydney or, you know, New York, but you don't know because there's no sign there. You know, you've got to find out what path, what road you actually even want to be on. And then it's just like, well, you know, have we got enough gas in the car? Have we got the right kind of car? How many people are coming with me? Are these the right people coming with me that I want to be coming with me? You know, so getting clear on all of that is really important. And, you know, it's like, if that car breaks down, have you got the tools to actually fix it? That's all your emotional resilience toolkit that I'm telling you about. It's all these exercises that I give you on a daily basis, those little steps. It's the same sort of stuff. It's just presented in a different way. And it's like when you're driving at night, okay, so now it's nighttime, there's no lights and you've got your headlights and you've just got to trust. You know, it said that it was going to New York, it said it was going to Sydney, it said it was going to Cape Town or whatever it is, or Auckland, and if I follow this path, I just know that I will get there. So it's keeping your compass shoes on, making sure that you're going in the right direction. You got to know what kind of, like, when you snap, when you feel like you should be turning back, going the other way, go, no. It said, you know, this was the direction that we were going in and that's the way we go. And you just trust, you know, you don't go, oh, I'm not sure, I think I'm going to go back to that fork back there. I know it said that, you know, the town was this way, but no, I think I'm actually going to change direction and go that way just in case, you know, or I'm actually more comfortable on that road, so I'm going to actually just shoot over there and stay on that road. No, that's not what you do. You don't do that. You know, you drive, don't you? You get in the car, you drive, and you trust that the path will unfold, that you will eventually get there, okay? So don't go backtracking, you know. You've got to let go, let God. You've got to kind of just go, there is an element of faith that is required. And, you know, if you've got faith, whether it's God or, you know, we all have different, you know, preferences, okay? It really doesn't really matter what it is that works for you. But you know, I would be saying to you, have a little think about, you know, what you could lean on, who you could lean on. Make sure that, you know, when you're having a bit of a wobble, what are you going to do? Maybe you use my, you know, one of my or several of my emotional resilience toolkit techniques that I've got, and exercises that are going to help you through that to keep you on course. Okay, I remember Vicki Jane telling me about this in this video. Oh yes, that's right. It feels uncomfortable and I have to just trust. I just have to have my trust shoes on. I just have to. And if you've got something that helps you with it, sometimes people have little symbols like, you know, a cross if it's, you know, if they're Catholic or they're, you know, Protestant, or whatever it is that you are, or if it's, you know, a rosary, or it's, I don't know, it might be crystals. You might be into crystals. It might be a stability rock. It might be a gratitude rock. It might be something that was given to you when you were a kid. I don't know, but find something that symbolically can physically give you that anchor as well, so you can start anchoring it and associating good positive feelings and having faith that you can actually get through. So I hope you found that useful. Again, something you know, it's hard, you know, girls, it just is, it's hard. It's you know, it's one of those things that you just have to go, I really hope things work out. And, you know, sometimes they don't, you know, but I am a firm believer that life happens for you, not against you. And I think that's one of the videos I will do next. Is just trusting that things are going to pan out the way they're supposed to. You know, we even if it doesn't go quite the way that you wanted, it's because something better is coming along. So you know, be open to that, and just staying open to that, and just trusting. Just keep your trust shoes on. If there's something that you'd like to share, I would be very grateful if you did. Hop over, if you're not already in the Facebook group, to do that. You know, maybe pop just even if it's a line or two, hey, just to let other members know as well that, you know, they might be in exactly the same spot as you, and maybe you can do a little reach out to each other and just say, hey, you know, girlfriend, I happen to notice that, you know, you went through that and I went through something similar, or I'm going through that right now. And even if you're in a different country or town, maybe we can Zoom up and have a wee chat. Or is there some way I can support you? Or if it's happening for you, maybe you can do a reach out and actually just say, look, hey, I could do with a bit of help here. I'm kind of feeling like I want to turn back and I don't know how to stay on track. So, you know, get the other Super Soul Sisters to give you wings. Hope you found that useful. Namaste.